Alright, this is John Cola with DiscountJuicers.com. Got a question the other day about juicing fruits. Hey John, can we juice fruits? What juicer is good to juice fruits? Can I juice the rind of fruits? Should I juice fruits? Should I juice the seeds of fruits? And you know what? This video is going to answer all your questions about juicing fruits. So the question is, should I even juice fruits with my juicer? Well, in my opinion, juicers are not the best appliance to process fruits. In my opinion, blenders are a better appliance to process fruits. And I have a couple reasons for this. Number one, the juicer is basically designed to juice things with hard fiber. So things like a carrot, things like greens, things like celery and beets, things like that. And when you're trying to juice fruits, it's a lot different consistency. I could literally take a grape in my hand and squeeze the grape and literally squeeze out the juice. But I couldn't take a carrot and squeeze out the juice out of the carrot unless I was Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. So that's where juicers really come in, to extract the nutrition, the nutrients, the liquid gold from that, those vegetables, and put it into your glass so that you can't juice it. But we could easily digest the nutrition in the grape or other fruits by literally chewing it. As we put it in, we chew, and the juice is released into our mouth to give us a great taste sensation. It tastes so good. Try to do the same thing with a carrot. You'll put the carrot in your mouth, it'll taste kind of dry and gritty and maybe not so good. But you know what? If you juice carrot juice, to me it tastes really good. It's really sweet. So that's really the benefit of the juicer. So can you juice fruits? Yes, you can. Some juicers will do better than others, and some fruits are more conducive to juicing than others. Alright, this is John Cola with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have a special treat for you. I'm going to talk about juicing fruits. So we got a question the other day about juicing fruits. Hey John, can I juice fruits? Should I juice fruits? What juicer is good to juice fruits? Tell me about juicing fruits. So now we're going to talk about making fruit juice cocktails or mixes. So can you mix different fruits when you're making juices? What's the best? Should I do it? Well, you know what? You can do anything you want in your kitchen and make all kinds of crazy creations, mixing apples and oranges and grapes and watermelon all in one juice. But let me tell you something. If you mix all these things all in one juice, you may not digest it that well. You may get some indigestion and bloating because each fruit digests a little bit differently in our bodies at different times. So for me, I listen to what Jay Kordich, the juice man, says. He says basically the only things you should be juicing, with your vegetables are things like apples and pears, or even Asian pears. They're fairly neutral, and you could juice those with some vegetables, like a green juice, for example. But other things, I tend to just juice them by themselves. The juice man also said, melons alone or leave them alone. So, when I'm juicing melons, I will juice melons by themselves. So for the most part, I'm what's called a mono fruit juicer. If I do juice my fruits, I like to only juice one piece of produce at a time. Does that mean you should do that or you shouldn't do that? Well, I'll leave that up to you. You're in your kitchen, you can do whatever you want, but I encourage you to, try to just juice one thing at a time. If I'm juicing citrus, for example, I'll actually stay in the citrus category. So maybe I'll make a, tangerine lemon juice. But I won't juice tangerines with my apples. Although very rarely I'll juice, carrots with orange. That's a pretty neat drink too. So, it just depends on you what you want to do. But I encourage you to, only mix apples, pears, and Asian pears with your vegetable juices. And with the other fruits, I don't tend to mix them a lot. But you can if you want. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the differences between canned and bottled juices versus make your own fresh juice. Number one is the consistency. As you can see, this is really liquidy, and if you juice the same things with the juicer as is in this juice here, it's basically grape juice, apple juice, raspberry juice, blackberry juice, and blueberry juice. It's not going to come out this thin in this juicer. It's going to be a lot thicker and rich. We could almost call it a nectar. So that's one of the differences. It's going to be a lot thicker when you make it at home. Another thing that's going to be different is that it's going to be a lot more nutritious when you make it at home. These are made in big industrial factories, and they basically pasteurize the juice to make this juice. They're not using a juicer like this probably. They're probably steam distilling the juice. Literally, they heat up the juice and get all the essences of the juice. It's called a steam juicer. is how the easiest way to do it. People that do canning and stuff know all about steam juicers, but you're going to lose all the enzymes and some of the nutrients when you do that. Also, some of these juices too, some of the things they do is, I mean, this says 100% juice in there, and it is 100% juice. But, so some juicers may add, sugars and things to sweeten it. This is actually real 100% juice, but it is still made with concentrates, and they do have some, natural preservatives in there. So when you make it at home, you're not going to get any of that. You're going to have real juice. And if it's too thick for you, just add a little bit of water. So making fresh fruit juice at home is, in my opinion, much better than buying bottled juices. But it's always good, better, best, in my opinion. Definitely making fresh fruit juices at your home is the best. This is probably better than drinking a soda, for example. So, we're going to meet you where you're at, and hopefully if you buy juice, you can make your own fresh juices at home. So this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.